Hi, it's Chris Watkin here in the beautiful town of Falmouth, and today I'm joined by the wonderful Sophie Lang. Sophie, I'm on holiday. I thought I'd come and see you while I'm down here, go to my favourite brewery, fortunately booked up, can you believe it? But let's talk about more important things. Women on the panels is something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Absolutely. I think that it's a massive topic of conversation at the moment. We've seen online every time a panel is announced and the photograph goes out online, instantly there'll be criticism of some kind about who's on that panel and who's not on that panel. I think for me, I agree that women should be represented and there should be more women on panels. I think there should be more diversity, full stop. But I think what I found with panels is that there's not enough women putting themselves forward for panels. I know you've asked for people to be on panels and you're met by a lot of silence sometimes.
Very much so.
And I've spoken to a lot of women that I know in the industry, and they're really good, but they're so scared to go on in front of camera. They're scared to put themselves out there. They're scared to put themselves above the parapet. But my issue is that if you don't put yourself forward, then it's never going to change. It's all right and well and good saying that you want to see more women talking openly and being part of the conversation, but you have to be willing to be that person to put yourself forward.
You have to put your head above the parapet, don't
Exactly, which I know is scary, and I agree that there is a culture that maybe make women less comfortable to do that, of whether they'll get criticism. Women tend to be more critical, self-critical of themselves, I feel, and especially of it sounds petty, but how they look sometimes on camera and on panels, which I think is getting better. I think that opinions matter and people do want to hear from women, but it's never going to change unless women put themselves forward. It's a two-way street. The situation has to change to make them more comfortable to put themselves forward, but also they need to be putting themselves forward. I'm never afraid to put myself forward. I try to as much as possible. My location, although beautiful, sometimes does limit me slightly in how much I can do. But there's so many brilliant women that just need the confidence and the oomph to stand up and do it.
What would your message be? I mean, I'm at a show, and I can remember one recently, and I specifically asked three women. I heard you on stage, or I've heard you talking. I think you're really good. I'd like to invite you on the sofa. One's come back and actually give me some dates. The other two, I've asked three times since, saying, "Give me some dates," and it's like I'm being ghosted, and that's quite normal, and that's not just me. That's other people that organise these events, or they pull out at the last minute. Like, it's almost a given. And I'm making a sweeping statement there.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think it's disappointing. As someone who's organised events myself, I mean, we organised PropX and we were quite, we wanted to make it as diverse as possible. So that was one of our aims, but it did take us to go out to a lot of people to get responses back. Okay. And when you're organising these events, a lot of time, money, effort goes into that. There's only so much you can go hunting for people. And I know Angharad Truman has obviously created her list, which is brilliant. But at the same time, those women featuring on the list need to be putting themselves forward and not expect it to just come to them all the time.
I mean, I got shouted at.
You get shouted at a lot, Christopher.
Yeah, but I've got my wife behind the camera. I often do deserve it. But I got shouted at for even asking, saying, "Could you put some people forward?" Because Harry's list is great, but it's not as detailed as I would hope to. There's lettings, there's sectional lettings, but there's so many different aspects of lettings.
I appreciate that, and I know me and you have had conversations before about I think I took umbrage to one of your comments about that you needed people for panels that had clout, and one of my opinions on it was, how do women build clout if they're not given the opportunities?
True.
But at the same time, if an opportunity arises, women can't say no, or those opportunities aren't going to come back again. You're only going to ask so many times before you give up, really. So I think that women need to stand up. They need to be confident in themselves. They need to put themselves forward. They need to grasp any opportunity. Otherwise, they won't get it again. And that's the disappointing part, because there are some great voices out there, but they're not being asked because they said no too many times.
Thank you for your time today, Sophie.
Thank you.